Hello everyone, my name is Marco Poutré and I'm the developer for the upcoming GMT game Napoleon in Egypt, currently on the P500, and welcome to the third video in the series in which I do a parallel between the game itself and a movie called Adieu Bonaparte. And in this video, we will be talking about field battles and the infamous Infantry Square formation for the French and how it is portrayed in the game. So, if you have been following the series, you know that in our last video we left just as the French soldiers were running carelessly towards Mirage and they were about to get ambushed by Mamluks. And one of the French general yelled, former les carrés, which is French for form the squares. And we're about to take a look at this clip a little bit further into the movie, where we're gonna have a glimpse of what it looks like when French soldiers actually performed the infantry square, and then I'm gonna fast forward a bit to what I believe is the Battle of the Pyramids being pictured in the movie, because and I will give you a shout out when we see it in the clip, but we can see the pyramids in the background. This is why I have set up an maybe not so epic battle between Napoleon Bonaparte and Murad Bey in Cairo in an attempt to replicate the Battle of the Pyramids, which happens very early in the game. Of course, it's one of the very first moves of the French player to crush Murad Bey and his forces in Cairo as soon as possible. So anyway, let's get to the movie first. Let's see, again, let's catch a really short glimpse of what an infantry square could look like. So we will resume when the French soldiers are running, but I'm gonna keep it running until they form the squares. So here they're about to get ambushed. Let me pause for a bit here because this might be um, the best shot we have at looking at the formation itself, the infantry square formation itself. It's not a great shot because obviously it's not the focus of the movie um, to go deep into military stuff. It's like I said, it's more like a romance-ish. But anyway, you can see the French soldiers setting themselves up in an infantry square like that. I'm gonna keep it running a bit. That was a weird crossfire example here. I'm not sure I would have been comfortable being French, being fired at with the Mamluks crossing right between the infantry squares there. But anyway, and let me fast forward a bit. Again, it's around the 23rd minute, if I recall correctly. So in a few moments, we're gonna watch maybe a 1 or 2 minute clip of again the Battle of the Pyramids. I'm gonna pause when we see the pyramids in the background. Of course, it's not the this is not the Spartacus movie, so you're just gonna see a very small subset of the Battle of the Pyramids. This is not a super Hollywood production with a lot of budget, but let's see how it goes. I don't know who this guy is. He's probably, I mean, the camera is gonna come back to him, so I'm guessing he's someone, might be Murad Bey for all I know. So this guy's having fun. So let me pause for a minute. So here are the pyramids in the background, which made me think that this is a reenactment of the Battle of the Pyramids. So let's see some firing and then we'll get back to the game. All right. Um, so back to the game. First, I want to show you an important part of the game. Where is it? It's here. Every unit in the game has what we call a combat quality. It ranges from mediocre for militia units to elite, which is exclusive to the French regular troops. What you see here is the custom D6 that is associated with that unit's combat quality. So a target is a hit. So when you roll in combat, when you roll a yellow die, which is the mediocre die, which is used by militia units, you actually have a 1 in 6 chance of hitting. Average units, which is the lot of the allied player, because it includes Mamluk cavalry as well as Ottoman regular units, but also French grognard units and French auxiliary units, which are the native tribes that can side with the French. They have an additional symbol here, which is a square. Now, a square is a hit if you're part of a formation that is led by a leader. So if you're left fending for yourselves, these units are no better than militia units. Without a competent leader, they are no better than militia units because the square will be considered a miss. But if they are properly led, um, all of a sudden they have a 1 in 3 chance of inflicting a hit. Then we have the drilled die, which is mostly used by British regular units, which has a 1 in 2 chance of hitting. And then the elite die, which even elite soldiers, when left on their own, have a 1 in 2 chance of hitting. But if they're led by Napoleon, Desaix, Kléber, whatever, they have a 2 in 3 chance of hitting. And that's a lot. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of probabilities of inflicting pain. So what we have here is a field battle between 12 French regulars led by Napoleon Bonaparte, and we have 10 Mamluk cavalry units and 2 Mamluk militia units led by Murad Bey. Now, a general in this game has 2 ratings. Here I stand. Virgin Queen fans won't be disoriented here because the upper right number is the strategy rating, the number of units that leader can command. And top left is the battle rating, number of bonus dice that general provides in battle. Now it's important to note that even though Bonaparte has a 3 battle rating, if he's alone with a single French regular unit, he cannot provide more dice than the number of units that are with him. So if he's with a single French regular unit, the French is not going to roll 4 dice. They're going to roll 2 dice, one for the unit and only one for Bonaparte, because you, even though you're a good leader, there are limits to what you can do with so few men. But now it's not a problem for both of these guys. The French player is going to get 12 elite dice plus 3 for Bonaparte for a total of 15. 15 of the best dice in the game, and be prepared for that. If you're the allied player, you're gonna suffer severe beatings at the beginning of the game, just like happened historically. And the allied player is gonna roll. So he has 10 Mamluk cavalry units. He has so that's 10 what we call average dice plus 2 for Murad Bey plus 2 mediocre dice for the militia. And in both cases, targets and squares are going to be hits because both of these formations are led by leaders. So let's roll. There's a decent chance here of the French player. It's hard to completely eradicate that stack, but sometimes in the game it comes close. So let's see. In the vassal module, I'm going to first roll 10 elite dice for the French player. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits, and we are missing 5 dice for a total of 15. Oh, that's quite unlucky. So only a single hit. So that's how many? That's 8 hits total, and the allied player is gonna roll again a total of 12 average dice plus 2 mediocre dice. That's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty tight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far, plus 2 average dice. Another one, that's 6 plus 2 mediocre dice, which yield nothing. So 8 to 6 is the final. Both sides will inflict hits on their troops. The first 3 hits have to come from the highest combat quality troops on the field, because these troops typically are at the front and they are leading the assault. Even though it's tempting to eliminate militia units, they're really just lagging behind, and they're not the ones doing all the hard work. So the end result here is 8 to 6. Now, in closing, what I want to show you, the French player has a home card, the Allied player has one too, which is available every turn. Every turn, the French player has 3 options. He can either use the 5 APs provided by the card, which is really flexible and which is the highest number of APs you can get from a card in the game. He can use the bottom right part, which is interesting and which will come back later on in further videos. He can gain science points, espionage points, and shift um, the public order of a city. But he can also use it as a reaction after the combat dice have been rolled in a field battle or an assault, and he can choose between inflicting an additional hit for every square the French player rolled, or cancel 1 hit for every square they rolled. So if we take a look, it's not perfect in Vassal. Normally the dice would still be on the table, but so the first 2 lines here are the French player's roll. So square, square, square. So he rolled 3 squares. So he could use they could use their home card at this point to either inflict 3 additional hits or to cancel 3 hits. And so this is how we portray the infantry square benefits in the game, uh, the advanced tactics used by the French, which explains why historically in some very lopsided battles the French were able to get away with almost no casualties at all, and they were able to wipe out forces sometimes 2, 3, 5, even 10 times the number of men that they had. And remember, when you lose, every regular that you lose is a tragedy for the French player, because no reinforcements are coming to Egypt or Syria. So you have to be very careful in how you manage your home cards. You want to inflict some more hits. Sometimes the number of hits that you're going to inflict is going to be the deciding factor. It's going to wipe out the stack entirely, allow you to capture Murad Bey in that case. But in that case, suffering 6 hits is really harsh, especially when you're just things are just getting started in Cairo. If we zoom out, this is just the start of the expedition. So losing 6 French regulars in this battle is really a tragedy. That's probably a case where the French player would just flip um, their home card and say, you know what, I'm going to cancel 3 hits and just suffer 3 hits. So the end result would be 8 hits to 3. But again, we don't control the dice. This was a very favorable outcome for the Allied player. It could have gone way worse for them. So that's it for now. Join me next time for another parallel with the movie. Thanks.